Hey everybody, John with Vynyly here, and I hope you're ready for another 5 on Friday, because here we are. Today's album, this one, Destroyer by Kiss. It is the 4th studio album by Kiss, and man, that's a classic. That is such a great album cover. I don't even know what to say. It's so good. There's a lot to talk about on this album. We could probably do a 15 on Friday if we really wanted to, but the show is called 5 on Friday, so we're going to stick to 5, maybe 6. Here we go. Number 1, there is a hidden track on side B of the album. The end of side B, there's a very small track. It's called either Rock and Roll Demons or Rock and Roll Party sometimes. Later versions it is listed, and on the CD it's listed, I believe. But on the album, especially early pressings of the album, it is not listed. And you can tell by looking at side B of your vinyl. And if you see 6 tracks listed, then you'll know you've got the hidden one on your copy, because there's only 5 tracks on side B. Number 2, the cover of this album is illustrated by Ken Kelly, who also did Love Gun. First draft, Kelly's first draft, was rejected by the label for being too violent and not dynamic enough. So he came up with the version that you are familiar with. However, his first version was used on Destroyer Resurrected, which was a remix of the album. Another problem with his first version of the cover is that the band were depicted in the costumes from Alive, the first Alive album, and they wanted different costumes for Destroyer. So here's a comparison of the two. You can see the differences for yourself. Number 3, producer Bob Ezrin had to teach the band basic music theory during the writing and recording of this album. Paul said he called it musical boot camp, and Gene said it was exactly what they needed at the time. Now remember, this was their 4th studio album, 5th album overall, because they released Alive right before this. So these guys had some experience playing music, but Ezrin taught them some key music theory, and it assisted in their writing. Ezrin, by the way, also played piano on Beth. Number 4, speaking of the song Beth, now you know we had to talk about it. Beth is the only Kiss song to have no instrumentals played by any member of the band. Peter Criss sang, of course. Ezrin was on piano. Dick Wagner played acoustic guitar, and they also included the New York Philharmonic. Ace apparently was busy playing cards with friends and chose not to attend the session. Ace, come on, man. Number 5, Detroit Rock City was originally the A-side of the single. This is back in the day when singles were 45s, right? So you had an A-side and a B-side. Detroit Rock City was the A-side with Beth as the B-side. Radio stations decided to start playing Beth instead, and the song just blew up. And so the single was re-released with Beth as the A-side and Detroit Rock City as the B-side. If you are interested in framed copies of albums to display like I've got displayed here on my wall, head on over to vynyly.com, vynyly.com, and take a look at what we have over there. If you are not seeing what you're looking for, drop me a line and we'll try to find it for you. Bonus fact, number 6. You won't see me do that too often. Number 6. Paul Stanley's favorite guitar was a black Gibson Firebird, the one pictured on Alive, on the cover of Alive. That was destroyed during recording of this album as engineer Corey Stasiak went to grab a pair of headphones, and the cord was run through the guitar strap of the black Gibson Firebird, which was leaning against a case. It pulled the cord, guitar fell, broke in half at the nut. Could not be repaired, and Paul was none too happy about that, but it was an accident, and I'm sure he's recovered from it by now. But yeah, Paul's favorite guitar got destroyed during the recording of Destroyer. Thanks for watching this 5 or 6 on Friday. Please remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I release more videos, which I try to do at least once a week. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.